Hello class, so my name is Ms. Flores, and today what we're going to go over is a quick review of multiplying decimals. So I wrote a couple of samples right here. And the main objective of this lesson today is to know where to place your decimals after multiplying. So if we have any questions here after a while, I'll answer them. So I found a quick little video that I was going to show y'all. It's going to talk about decimals. So here we go. We're going to start this one. And then after we're done watching the video, we're going to go ahead and answer any questions that y'all might have.
For today's lesson, you are going to learn how to multiply decimals with or without recurring. Let us start. Let's have this first example. 32 hundredths times 3 tenths. In multiplying decimals, it is different from adding and subtracting. Here, we don't have to align the decimal places. We are just simply going to multiply decimals like how we multiply whole numbers. At this point, disregard the decimal points. Let's multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 0 is 0. Since the next digit to 3 is 0, we don't have to multiply it. Now, is this our final answer? Not yet. We need to put the decimal point in the right place. The next step that we need to remember is the total number of decimal places in the factors should be the same in the product. Let us count the decimal places in the factors. 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, we need to put the...
Okay, so how many decimals do we have after the numbers? Remember what we said? It was going to be 3. So it's the 3 and the 2 and the 3. They're all behind the decimals, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
decimal point in the product 3 decimal places from right. 1, 2, 3. There. Let's put 0. Now, this is our final answer. Let's have another example.
Okay.
What is the product?
Okay. So that was a quick little video on how to multiply. Okay. So I wrote a couple of examples. So here's the first example right here. So I have 1.6 times, I have, yes, 1.6 times 7. Okay. And then on this next one, I have 5.21 times 3.8. Okay. So on each one of these, what do you do whenever you're gonna, what do you do with your decimals?
You put them to the front.
Okay, so that's 6.7 times 4. So first, you're going to forget about your decimals, and you're just going to bring the equation down. So it's going to be 67 times 4, okay? So then 7 times 4 is what?
28.
Okay, so it's 28. So that's where I got the 8 from. And then if I take the 2 over, so I did that. So 7 times 4 is 28. I carry over the 2. And then 6 times 4 is what? What's
24.
Six? Okay, so 24. And then you have to add your 2. That makes 26, right? So
Yeah.
then you bring it down. 26. So you have 26, and then I added the decimal in, but if there was no decimal, it would have just been 26. It would have been 268 basically. But since we have a decimal, how many numbers are behind the decimal?
3.
1.
Oh.
No, it's just 1 right there, which is the 7. So there's one number, so that's why we put the decimal after going to the right. So that's what makes 26.8, okay? Now on number 2, I'm sorry, my numbers are a little messy, but on number 2, I have 5.21 times 3.8, okay? So what would I do? I would bring down the equation without the decimals, meaning I'm gonna write 521 times 38, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then I would work out each one. So 1 times 8 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So there's my 1 and my 6, and then add 1. 5 times 4 is 40, plus 1 is 41, okay?
Okay.
So I'd work out the first problem, and then I go to my second numbers, my second set of numbers. We always bring down the 0. 3 times 1 is 3, that's where I got the 3 from. 2 times 3 is 6, that's where I get the 6 from, and then 5 times 3 is 15, okay?
Okay.
Then we add them all up, forget the decimals, we add them all up, and then we come up here to our problem, and how many numbers are after the decimal?
1.
1, 2, 3.
So then it's 3.
So we're gonna move our decimal 3 places.
Okay.
Okay, so now I made a little worksheet here for you so you can answer a couple of these, see if you have any questions. You kind of get the concept, are you understanding?
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
So I wrote 10 problems here for you to work out. So I need you to work these out, and then I'm going to grade them for you, okay?
Okay.
So let's see if you know how to do these.
So you said I moved the decimal,
Yes.
right?
Work out that first problem. So that first problem, I'm going to help you with it. Tell me what it is.
So it's 7.1
Okay, hold on.
divided by or times?
Times. Okay,
Times.
it's what? 7.1?
7.1 times 6.
Okay, so let's work this out together, okay?
Okay.
Okay. 7.1 times 6, right? Now,
Mhm.
what was the next step to do after you write it like this?
Then move your decimal.
No, you rewrite it, you bring it down, and you rewrite it. So it's going to be 71 times 6, okay? Now, 1 times 6 is what?
6.
Okay, and then you cross over there. 6 times 7 is what?
42.
Correct. So the answer is going to look like this. 426. Okay, now, if we look up here, what did I say about the decimal? How many points do you go right?
3.
1.
Oh,
Because this problem right here only has 1 decimal.
okay.
So the number behind it is a 1. So how many places did I move right?
1.
1. Okay.
So it would be 42.1.
42.6.
Okay.
Okay. So that's correct. Okay, let's try the other one, and I'll help you as well.
Okay, so it's 2.4 times 5.
Okay, 2.4 times 5. Okay, so what's the next step of doing that equation?
You move it down to the bottom.
Okay, and so we're gonna write it what? 24 times
5.
5. Okay. What's 4 times 5?
12.
No.
I mean, not 12. Oops.
4 times 5 is 20.
Okay, 20.
So my 0 goes here. My 2 comes up here. 2 times 5 is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2.
12.
Okay. So my answer is,
120.
but is that my final answer?
No.
Why not?
Because you need the decimal one.
Correct. Okay. So then I go back and I look at the original equation, and how many places do I move right?
1.
Okay. So that's 1. So then what's my final answer going to be?
12.0.
Correct. Good job. Okay. Now answer the rest of those.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's work one of those together.
Okay.
Okay. Give me the next problem.
It would be, which one did we do on the poster?
The 2.4. What's your next one right there?
I have 6.2 times 5.
6.2
times
5. Okay. Perfect. What was your next step?
Okay, so you move it down.
So I'm gonna
the
write it.
equation, so
Okay.
it'll be 62.
Okay.
And then times 5.
Good job. Okay.
Okay, and then 2 times 5.
This,
That's 10.
okay, good. And I move my 1 over.
Yes.
6 times 5 is what?
6 times 5 is 30.
Plus 1?
So it'd be 31.
Good. Okay. So what's my final answer gonna be?
So it would be 31.0.
Good job. So you understand the concept. Perfect. Okay. Now, what if I told you that I was gonna go to the store and I was gonna buy a candy bar that cost $1.25,
Okay.
and I want to buy 5 of them? So how do I figure that out?
You would have to do 5 times 1.25.
Perfect. Now write that equation down.
So you would have to add it up.
Okay. Perfect. So it's gonna be
125
perfect.
times 5.
Perfect. Work that one out real quick, and then I'll see if we match our answers.
Okay. Okay, I got 6.25.
Perfect. And why? Why was it 6.25 instead of it being 62.5?
62.
Can you tell me why? And that's the correct answer. 6.25, but why?
Because the decimal.
And how many
why.
decimals? How
So
many
you're-
numbers were after that decimal to the right?
It was 1.
No, it's 2.
Oh, it's 2.
Because it's the 2 and the 5. So it's 2 numbers. So that's exactly why you move down 2 decimals.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, good job. Okay, so that's going to conclude my lesson for today. The student was able to multiply she was able to multiply and understand how to break down the equation. And she did good by answering all her questions and figuring out everything. So I believe that concludes my lesson for today. And my main objective was teaching the 6th grader how to multiply decimals and how to move the decimals to each corresponding spot. Thank you.